you know what a financial assessment is that the local authority have brought in.
I won't speak for everyone, but I mean,
So
we're here to learn from you guys.
okay, so financial assessments, I think I'm going to hand over to Alison here because she is out there, she's much more knowledgeable than I am.
So the financial assessment form, Anna, I gave this to you a couple of years ago because it was a form that we believed was too complicated and not relevant for our care group, our support group. So it basically lists everybody's income from their benefits, and the only thing that is disregarded is the minimum income guarantee and any disability-related expenditure, which has to be proved, shown receipts for, and it's not standardised. So it's kind of, if you've got a good social worker that can say, yes, we're allowed some magazines because the person can only needs excess magazines, or they need the internet connection or Netflix because that's the only thing they watch all day. The disability-related expenditure is not clear. That is then taken off of your income, and it leaves you with your an available amount of income. That is then taken back by the local authority, and that can be hundreds and hundreds of pounds a week.
Well, it's all it's PIP. It's all PIP, yeah.
It's all
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. I
And this financial assessment,
so why do you guys not get to keep it?
this financial assessment is done for everybody who is in receipt of a care package through Southend City
It
Council.
doesn't matter how much care you get.
And as it's county council,
And
every
it's
council.
and it doesn't matter how much care you get, they still can claim the whole lot.
Yeah, that is true.
So another big issue there, so despite of the package size, so you could have £1,000 package or £100 package, the financial contribution is the same. It's literally done by your income, your expenses, and that available income is what they take back. So this is affecting our floating support group, who are doing sort of minimum hours, 4 hours a week for somebody. So if their financial assessment shows that they can pay a maximum of £150 a week, their care package has to be, they have to pay for it themselves. So, and because they're on a low income already, to them, to pay £150 a week for their care, they'd rather not have it. So it's putting them back at risk. So they can't manage their money in their budgets. Am I right, Karen? Has that explained it? Okay.
I mean, like with supported housing, Walking House, so I've got 8 customers at the school. So basically, the highest amount they pay, they get invoices now every month, £499. Now, I'm supposed to be moving these customers into community. How am I supposed to do that? Because by the time that's taken away, they've got no more income. And the council, like, you know, we're governed by them to move people into community, potentially 2-year move-on schemes. Well, how is this working? And we're putting our hair out because the customers don't understand what they're paying. We can't enforce them to pay it, we encourage them to pay it, because otherwise then they get final notices. It's just madness. Madness, sorry.
Can I say something, please?
Regarding this issue.
Yes, it is. It is about the issue. And as I said at the beginning, I'm not a politician, but I enter this arena so I can have a voice which will benefit the community. This debate is the minuscule about policy exactment to benefit those who deserve it. And that's magnificent. I am totally incompetent to enter that arena. But I have this to say. This whole problem is because of society's attitude towards individuals like Robbie, and we cast them at the bottom of the heap because of the way we think. We think they are not fit for human beings. That's why we put them at the bottom of the economic heap. And if we can change society's attitude, which is very Victorian, we can change the whole panorama and get people behind it on a national basis. I think this problem needs a bigger hand to deal with it. The bigger hand is a change in people's attitude, which can be led by the church. And I'm not going to go into theological arguments, but the church founded this idea that disabled people was as because of this thing called sin, which is absolutely diabolical. You are there because of nature, and we should support people who have disabilities because of nature through the national health system. So I'm just saying that we need to change the cultural attitude towards people with disabilities. They are not different from us, they only suffer more than us.
Thank you for your very heartfelt. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very aware we've run over time, which is what always happens when I start talking. But there are a load of other questions. We are here. I'm happy to keep going. I don't know how our candidates feel. I think that there is so many issues. I've got 20 other questions to offer, and the trouble is, I think part of the problem is that this particular group, the learning disabilities group, and what I mean by learning disabilities, I'm actually going to explain it just slightly, is low IQ. So I mean people who cannot protect themselves against people being cruel or people being horrible, people who will always need somebody with them. And those families that look after them save our country billions. But for the last 4 years, all I've seen is these mostly women, there are men of course in there, but it's mostly women that carry this burden, are being tortured. They're being tortured, they're being gaslit, they've been told that they don't, that they have to fill in form after form. Every year they have to do an annual review. Robbie, darling, you've never done anything different, have you, gorgeous? I'm not that we want you any different, but why does his mum, every time she fills in a form, have to prove Robbie is Robbie? Robbie is Robbie already, we all know that here. So, I'm sorry, what does everybody want me to do? Do we want to carry on listening? Yes. Good.
I want to keep listening rather than talking, honestly, because I would rather learn from you guys.
Well, I'm going to
over 3 hours to fill out a PIP form if you're doing it properly, because you have to go in depth for whatever that person has and needs.
Well, my wife
and
actually
we have never lost a case in court, but with every single PIP that goes in, it's always turned down. Why?
Yes, 100%.
Why?
You've heard how difficult it is for people in this community, and it's getting worse all the time. So my question is, if you are elected, what will be your first conversation with the Minister for Health and Social Care? What would it be for a fast-track change to improve the lives of people with SEND, given all that you've heard?
Obviously, I know what my first question is going to be now, because I will be seeking out the Disabilities Minister, and if Liz Davis was here today, she would really, really be engaging with this, and she would really want to put this right. And so my first question will be about this PIP and why it is not being disregarded. And all I can say to you is I have been incredibly effective in the last 2 years in the various areas where I've been working. I've got hundreds of millions of pounds of investment, and I've got at least 3 law changes. So if I sit down with you after, and I do remember you showing me that form, and as I said at the beginning, one of the things that I really feel is needed is more help for people to get through these forms. I mean, it's ridiculous that the length of these forms, and you say 3 hours to somebody, who needs someone to do it for them. That's point number one.
Second, takes all day.
Right, so that is not right, and I will do my utmost to get resources into that problem. And then the Music Man project has made me very, very well aware of this hideous thing of every year having to prove a disability that is never going to change. And I know that that's a problem that they're wrestling with as well. So if I'm lucky enough to be re-elected, I promise I will sit down with you, and I don't know where we were when we looked at that form, but I need to have a proper meeting with you. I need to convene a summit at the council, like I've done with SEND, like I've done with education, like I've done with other areas, so that we can hopefully solve this problem. Thank you, Beth.